Hi, good people. My name is Jeremy. I am a third year student at Uganda Christian University, though I should have finished last year. I used to be an addict, and I used to battle with depression. Today I'm going to tell you a story, but not just a story. I'm going to tell you what the Lord has done in my life and what He can do for you. I began smoking in high school, and it was very little back then, which is, by little I'm saying you just puff once out of peer pressure. But then it slowly turned into a crutch when things around me were crumbling, when my life was falling apart, when I was hurt, when I was alone. It was smoking that would warm me up. So it started as just vapes and cigarettes, but by the time I came here to campus, I was already swallowing pills so that I could numb the pain. When I got here on campus, I fell into the wrong crowd, or I looked for the wrong crowd, and it fueled the addictions, and even I found even more. So I started smoking weed as well. While I was here, I partied so hard, because life is worth living, but true living is not numbing pain or running away from your problems, hiding behind drugs. But I didn't know that. But because I didn't know that, the void that I felt, the emptiness and the loneliness, it just kept expanding, growing bigger. The distance between me and my family, the distance between me and my peers. I just felt like no one could understand me, and I didn't care about anyone. I was hurting, and these drugs which I was taking, because at this point I was taking a lot. I would take 7 blunts a day while swallowing all my pills, so that I would be happy the whole day. If I'm not doing it, I am reminded of my depression. While I tried to numb all this pain, it reached a point where even though you take the drugs, you're still sad. I felt like my life had no purpose, and it's something that had been told to me before. While I was in school, there were moments where my father told me that I am a useless waste of this time and money. The moments where my mom said hurtful words, the moments when my peers said things that hurt me, and I'll drown them in the drugs. But at this point, life had no purpose for me. I felt like, I'm wasting space. I have siblings. Let me end my life. Like, if I end this life, they'll have more resources for them. I don't matter anyways. That night, I decided to drink bleach, because all the pain that I felt on the inside, no matter how much I cut my skin, no matter how much I'd watch myself bleed, it would never translate. And I wanted to go out in a way that is worthy of that pain. So I wanted to hurt. And as I was convincing myself, I could hear all these voices reminding me, you're useless. You don't have a future. You're just wasting resources. They'll be better off anyways without you here. I mean, you've been here for 2 weeks, you've not eaten, you're not showered. Nobody has checked on you because you don't matter. And as I put this bleach into my mouth, I heard a voice speak, and this voice, I'd never had peace in my life before. Peace that silences, a voice that silences every other voice. And this voice said one thing. It says, I run to the hills. Where does my help come from? My help comes from the Lord, the maker of heaven and earth. And immediately after this voice had spoken, all these other voices now came back louder, and they're saying, you've been a failure your whole life. Are you really going to fail at killing yourself as well? But amidst all that, I sat confused, and I was like, you know what? Let me just be crazy. Let me. I know I've had this. Maybe I'm giving myself an excuse to be alive. But let me go up the hill, as I've heard this voice say. It's rubbish, anyways. Besides, it would be nice to see a view one last time before I leave. And so I went up into the hills just to prove that it was nonsense. And up in the forest with my pack of cigarettes and sitting there in silence asking, so you heard a voice, huh? You think that means anything? It was so silent that I decided to mock God, like, you think you exist, or you're just something in my head. This was my imagination. Are you even there? This is rubbish. Why did I come up here? I'm wasting my time. Let me go back down and finish the job. As I was getting up to leave, this voice starts to speak again, and it says, go home. And I started to argue with myself. I can't go home, man. I'm already a failure. I'm the first born in my family, and my parents are both PhD holders. There's this pressure. I've already disappointed them. I'm already a disgrace. And now if I'm to go home, it will even be worse. I have to even face my siblings as well. But this voice was like, go home. So I went to my faculty to register for a dead year, because I was like, fine, let me go home. But the dean refused to give me a dead year. Instead, she said, I'm only going to sign up for a dead semester. I cursed her in my head, because I was like, you don't understand anyways what I'm going through. Whatever. You just sign off. I know that I'm not even going to come back. When I got home, and my parents saw me before the semesters ended, exams have not even happened, and I'm here with all my stuff, and I'm wondering what's going on with this guy. But my mom realized that there's something wrong. She started taking me for therapy, and the therapist put me on some sort of medicine for depression, antidepressants. But while I was at home, I was just throwing away those pills, and I continued with the drugs that I was taking. In fact, it became even worse, because at home I got to discover that there was a trap house literally right next to my home, just a stone throw away. And that's where I was spending all my time. During this time I was doing internship. I'd show up to work high, I'd come home high. I was high 24/7. If I'm going to work, I have to pack the drugs with me. Like I'd either boil them into a liquid that I'm going to drink, or I keep like a concoction. I'd make concoctions to smoke, and I'd keep them for when I feel like I need it. Around this time, I'm still taking about 7 blunts, a pack of cigarettes a day, and 3 Xanax pills. And that's how I get by. My parents thought I was getting better, because when they'd tell me, come and play the guitar for us, we're going to pray. It's evening prayers and what. I'd show up with my guitar, I'd play for them, I'd even smile with them, and they're like, this guy is getting better, he's fine. But in reality, I'm not even there. I am on the moon. Instead of people, I'm seeing cows. And but they thought, our son is getting better. Now, while I was doing all these drugs, I still felt so hollow. I felt empty to the core. No matter how much I took, it's as if I was just pouring into the void. I was just adding to the void. It was just increasing in size. I still felt suicidal. I still felt like life is meaningless. I'm just wasting time. And I had a group of friends, not good friends at all. They were enabling me, I actually never paid for any drugs that I would take. I would never have to pay. It was always available as much as I want, anytime that I wanted. So these friends, one of them was teaching me how to make all sorts of herbal concoctions. Like, he was a traditional healer. I didn't know that. I just thought he was teaching me how to make things to, if you have a headache, if you have this. But no, he was actually teaching me traditional things. And I went to him, I told him, man, I still feel empty on the inside. No matter how much I take this thing, it used to make me happy, but now it doesn't. What can I do? And this guy tells me, I've been waiting for you to ask that. And he tells me, this is what you must do. You must empty your mind. You must meditate. And when you do that, you're going to connect to the higher being. And I was like, okay, sounds weird, but yeah, he looks happy, so I started doing that. I take my drugs and I meditate and try my best to empty my mind, have no thoughts, have no anything, just be nothing. And for a time it was, I thought I was feeling peace. But then some weird things started happening. One of them being, as you meditate, it's like you leave your body. You start moving in the clouds. You start, you leave your body and you can see your body there. And I thought that was normal. If anyone told me that, you're practicing witchcraft, I would have never I'd have been like, man, you're crazy. What are you talking about? This is just meditation. It's meditation. But I remember at a time we sat in the kitchen, or a group of people, and we're in this abandoned house, the kitchen of this abandoned house, and I see in the doorway, because I told these people, guys, I feel like we're not alone. We are something is weird. We're not alone. And they're like, it's just the weed. You just keep calm. But when I looked at the doorway, I saw demons, and they were just itching to come in, and they were just creeping at the door. And when I saw them, and when they saw, because I saw them, and I saw them I was just staring at them for a few seconds, and then when they noticed that I'm seeing them, these things don't like being seen. They don't want to be seen. They like to be hidden in the darkness. When they saw that I'm seeing them, they dropped into the ground and looked like shadows and started moving. And they left the kitchen, they moved up the stairs. They started going up the stairs. And I got up and followed. And when I saw them going up the stairs, spiraling up, I was like, I've watched a lot of horror movies. You don't follow these things. They'll pin you to a wall. Well, this is. So I turn back to where my friends, and I tell them, guys, this is what I've seen. And they tell me, Gwe, Okubidwa, you don't know what you're talking about. You just sleep. You've had a long day. But I didn't forget. I felt scared. I was like, So when I went home, I came back the next day to that trap house. But this time I came with a Bible. Because in my head, this Bible can ward off spirits. It has, in horror movies, you see them, they hold the Bible, they're like, So I had this Bible to ward off any evil, and I'd just be there. I didn't even sleep in that trap house. But then, as I started as I would get high, I started reading that Bible. Like I would open it. I stopped with that meditation stuff because I felt like, But I started opening this Bible while I'm high, just reading about. I was reading about. I remember one of the first stories I read was the parable that talks about the son who wasted the inheritance. I started reading about how his father still accepted him back and gave him the best, gave him clean clothes. He used to eat with the pigs. Of course, I wasn't understanding anything back then, but that's the first story, one of the first stories I read. Then I started reading about how Jesus changes people, how he turns water into wine, what is ordinary into extraordinary. He changes what's in the picture, changes what's in the heart. I didn't understand any of those things, but I was intrigued to keep reading. And this is the thing, when you start coming to the light, the devil doesn't want you to know the truth, because he knows that the truth will set you free. So as I started coming to the light, what he did is, the devil will, if he can't lie to you, he'll give you a half truth, which is worse, because if it has some truth, if it have truth, it's easily believed, and you're more likely to grip to it. And what he said whispering in my ears was, wake up. Okay, I started hearing that, wake up and believe, wake up and realize who you are. Wake up, don't you see who you are? Why was it that that's what I was hearing? At this trap house, this friend of mine who had been teaching me how to make these traditional things and whatnot. At this trap house would get cancer patients, would get people who are sick, people who are hurting. And they started getting better. Like, they would come, they get well. And they would be like, first we only come here because you're here. You have some good energy, and so what this voice was trying to make me think was, wake up and realize that you are reincarnated. You are the reincarnated Jesus. You're black reincarnated Jesus. Stay with me. It sounds very stupid, and the truth is, it is very stupid. But that's the devil for you. And because of the things that I was seeing, I was like, slowly believing, slowly I said believing it. And then I was like, but wait, if this is really the truth, let me do this. Let me go to church. I've not been to church in ages. I only used to go to church because of my parents. But now that I was my own man, own man as in I could make my own decisions, I didn't go. I didn't like church. So I was like, let me go to church. If this is true, I'm going to go. If this is the truth, then people are going to be so happy. Why? They found the Lord. I'm here. And I was so serious about it. So I purposed. I was like, let me go to church. And I went to church. At that time, I went to Watoto. It was downtown because it was near home. So I go on the first Sunday. I sit in the congregation. But before going to church, I first charge. I make sure I'm up there. So I go to church. I sit there. I listen the first Sunday. I'm like, okay. I go back. The week continues. Second Sunday, I go again. And I'm listening. On the third Sunday, the third Sunday when I go to church, the words cut me so deep. Because it's like I got a realization that I don't know who I am. That's one. I don't know my identity. I am so lost. I need saving. I need help. And it's only Jesus who can help me. I need help. If this is who you say you are, I'm a prisoner. I thought I was free, but I'm a prisoner. And I remember when the preacher that day made an altar call. Who wants to give their life to Christ? Put up your hand. I got up on my feet. My two hands surrendered. And I was weeping because I knew how much I needed the Lord and how lost I was. And that's when I gave my life to Christ. And that was last year on the 5th of May. Yes. And immediately after church, I went direct, without not even turning to go home. I went straight to the trap house to smoke my weed, to smoke my cigarette. I bought my pack of cigarettes. I had my things, all of them. And I was like, hey, you guys, I'm gonna give my life to Jesus today. Like, I'm smoking when I saying something. Like, hey, they laughed at me. But let me tell you something. Grace is something that we don't deserve. It's not something we work for. It's something I'm grateful for.